5, 4, 4, and I have to find this value here, then I can say, and if you use brackets, 5 squared minus 4 squared, then you immediately get the answer of 3 centimeters. So that is then Pythagoras. So if you look now in your textbook on page 439, that's where we get try now 1. We're looking at that first one there. And that exercise is absolutely about the Pythagorean formula, what you have to use there. So I'm going to draw for the first one now for you a sketch so that you can see. AC, so this is triangle ABC. Remember, the middle one of ABC is, oh no, sorry, I see they indicated different here. They say C is 90 degrees. Usually it's the one in the middle, but C is then 90 degrees, so it will be A, B, C. C is the 90 degrees. Now AC is 20, BC is 15, so the sketch will help you, and we have to find AB now. Do I add or subtract? I'm going to add. So this one will then be 20 squared plus 15 squared. You can use your calculator. The square root of 20 squared plus 15 squared close is equal to, and my answer is 25. 25. So we can do the same now with the next ones. Number 2. So again, I have a right angle triangle. We have to label them, otherwise we won't know where is which angle. So that one is E. This one will then be D, and that one will be F. D, E, F. So DE is 5, EF is 12, and we have to find this one. Are we going to add or subtract? Add. So we can say that DF is then equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared. I add because I want to find the hypotenuse. So that is then 5 squared plus 12 squared. And the square root of that is 13. Okay. Number 3. Now we have triangle KLM. So L is 90 degrees. KLM. KL is 7. ML is 24. And again, we want to find the hypotenuse. So that means that we're going to add them. So it is then 24 squared plus 7 squared. And the answer is 25. Press your calculator and make sure that you get that answer there. Right, try now 2. So I keep on drawing the sketches. This time Q is 90 degrees, PQR. And now we say QP is 15 and PR is 39. Now we want to find the other side, and that means that we're going to subtract. So this time it will be 39 squared minus 15 squared. And again, we can do it on the calculator. The square root of brackets, 39 squared minus 15 squared, it will be quite a large number, is equal to 36. So you must just make the decision. Am I going to add or subtract? What am I going to do every time? Add or subtract? Right, the second one. So this is triangle STU. T is 90 degrees, so STU. TU is 14. SU 50. And we have to find ST. Are we going to add or subtract? We're going to subtract. So it will then be 50 squared minus 14 squared. in brackets there. So it is then the square root of brackets 50 squared, minus 14 squared, close the bracket, is equal to, I got 48. 48. Right, now number 3. VWX, this is 90 degrees here at V, so it's VWX. This one is 10.5, and this one is 17.5. So it is again a subtraction sum, 17.5 squared minus 10.5 squared. And we use our calculator, so it's the square root of brackets 17.5 squared minus 10.5 squared, close, is equal to 14. So this is equal to 14. Good. Now you will see number 4 is now a mixed exercise where we're going to find those. And the question is, do you add or subtract? Do you add or subtract? So question 4a, what will I do? Add. So this one is then 12 squared plus 16 squared. So on our calculators, square root, brackets, 12 squared plus 16 squared, close, is equal to, and this one's answer, x is 20. The next one, number b, now I'm going to subtract because I want the other side. So it will be 19 squared minus 9 squared. 19 squared minus 9 squared. So it's the square root of 19 squared minus 9 squared, close, is equal to, and I have 16.3. Remember, we round off to 3 significant figures. The sides are to 3 significant figures. Number C, are you going to add or subtract? I'm going to subtract. So it will be 26.4 squared minus 12.3 squared is equal to, okay, and we can do that one again then, square root of brackets 26.4 squared minus 12.3 squared, close, is equal to, and I have 23.4. 23.4. And then the last one there, number D, and that one is again an addition one, so it's 11 squared plus 12 squared. And what do we get? 11 squared plus 12 squared. So it's the square root of 11 squared plus 12 squared, close, is equal to, and I have 16.3. 16.3 centimeters. Okay, so this is what you did in grade 9. It's not new work here. Now, the exercise 3 and 4 are about mixed exercises, but it's still based on Pythagoras. So I would like you now to do those sums. It's just a combination of what we've done here. And then we're actually going to come to the algebraic ones in number 5. So I'm going to explain there a little bit more. Try now 5. So the others are just mixed exercises. You can do them and mark them at the back. Let's look at try now 5, where we have algebra also in here. So this is on page 442. The school field is in the shape of a rectangle, and it has those sides there, x plus 7 and x plus 9. X plus 9 is the hypotenuse there. Calculate the value of x. Calculate the value of x. Now, we're going to do the same thing here. X is one of the other sides, so I actually have to subtract. So now it becomes x plus 9 squared minus x plus 7 squared is equal to x squared. That's applying Pythagoras. The longest side is your hypotenuse, and there we write it out like this. Now, we can now cancel, this is actually equal to x. If we lift the root here, then we can square it also on that side. So if I square here, the square and the square root will cancel out. So then I'm also going to square on that side. Now it's just a little bit of algebra that I'm going to use here. We did the algebra last year. Just remember that this is x plus 9 times x plus 9 minus, and I will put it in separate brackets here, so it's x plus 7 times x plus 7 is equal to x squared. Sometimes they will ask you to show it by using Pythagoras. Now here we multiply, first with the first, last with the last, inner, outer. Can you remember? So this is then x squared plus 18x plus 81 minus, I'm first going to deal with it here in the brackets, so it's x squared plus 14x plus 49, which is equal to x squared. Quite a large sum. Now here all the signs are going to change because I multiply a negative 1 in each one there. So then it is negative x squared, negative 14x, negative 49, which is equal to x squared. Okay, so this x and this one will cancel out. And I'm going to take them all over to the other side. So 0 is equal to, so that x squared remains now there. This 2 will cancel out. What is plus 18 minus 14 is 4. And I take it over, so it becomes minus 4x. Remember, I all take them over to the right-hand side now. And what is 81 minus 49? Positive 81 minus 49 is equal to 32, but I'm taking it over, so it's minus 32. So now I must factorize it as a trinomial. You can see the algebra is all in here. So x and x, what is the factors of 32? That will give you a 4. 8 times 4 is 32, so that will be my choice. So I have an 8 and a 4. Signs differ. The biggest combination is negative. So this one is the biggest combination. So this one is negative and this one is positive. Check back. Negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4x. And now we still have to find the solution. So we're going to say 0 is equal to x minus 8, or 0 is equal to x plus 4. So that means x is going to be 8, or x is going to be negative 4. And in this case, which one will we choose? The positive one, isn't it? Because it's a rectangular field, so we can't have negative ones. So you have to indicate that that one is your choice, that you choose that one.
With over 300 games in 6 weeks, get DSTV to watch the best live football action.
When you're saying things that degrade women, For me, number one, I am not there, because that is basically what I don't believe in. I don't stand for things that degrade women.
What do you think we can add? What can we put in the basket?
First of all, let's put Blossom back in the basket.
Look at the person like, man, let's do a song.
Let's do something.
Just
let's
like
collaborate.
Let's collaborate.
Africans were claiming us.
Yes, exactly. To the rest of the world, they belong to us. Namibia, Baba, Namibia.
I'll help you carry on.
Creating music and putting some stuff out for the people who've been supporting me, that's definitely something that's next on my list.
Yes! Yeah! Yes!
Oh, magical Messi! Takes on 3, tips on 4, beats the goalkeeper.
With over 300 games in 6 weeks, get DSTV to watch the best live football action.
Second lesson on trigonometry. So we're looking now at try now 5 on page 442. Try now 5 on page 442. So this is still Pythagorean that we are looking at, but now they combine it with algebra. We're doing number 2. Number 1 was on yesterday's lesson. So a campsite in the shape of a rectangle has the sides. Find the area of the campsite. Now, before we can do that, we need x. We need to know the value of x. And the only thing that we have here is Pythagorean. So we can say that 3x plus 6 squared plus x plus 1 squared is equal to 4x plus 1 squared. There's your Pythagorean that we do. So now we have to multiply this out. Now remember what we said. This means it's 3x plus 6 times 3x plus 6. Don't be lazy to write it out, because otherwise you're going to lose your middle term every time. So now I'm FOIL. First, last, inner, outer. This is what we're going to do. So this is the 9x squared. This is 18x plus another 18x, so it's 36x plus 36 plus, so now I'm taking this one, so it is x plus 1 times x plus 1, which is then x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to, and on this side, 16x squared. Remember, there's another 4x plus 1 there, plus 8x plus 1. So now we collect them all on the one side. So 9 plus this 1 is 10x squared. If I bring that one over, it's negative 6x squared. Here, 36 plus 2 is 38. If I bring this one over, change the sign, 38 minus 8 is then plus 30x. And here the 36 plus the 1 is 37, minus 1 is 36, is equal to 0. Now it's always easier to get rid of this negative, and I can simplify this whole equation by dividing everything by negative 6. So then I have x squared minus 5x minus 6, which is equal to 0. Now we're going to factorize this one. This is an easy trinomial. Remember, we did it last year. So what times what gives you the first term? X times x. Then we take the factors of 6, which might be 2 by 3 or 6 by 1. And now we read it. If you subtract it, it must give you 5. If you subtract it, it must give you 5. So it will be this combination. So it is 6 and 1. If there is a negative, it says signs differ. And this one tells us that the biggest combination is the negative. Now, this is what I mean with a combination. So this one must be negative and this one must be positive. So x is equal to 6 or x is equal to negative 1. We choose the positive one because it is a rectangle and you can't have negative values. And now we can finally find the area. So if we go back now to these sides, now what is area? We said area is half base height. So we need to use the base and the height, these two. If you put the 6 now in there, 3 times 6 is 18 plus 6 is 24. So the one side is 24. And the other one is x plus 1, which is 7. So half base height to find the area now, that's what we want, is then a half of 24 times 7. And the answer is 12 times 7, 84 square centimeters. 84 square centimeters then for that one. Half base times height. Okay. Right, let's look at number 3. The folded napkin has a triangular base. So there's the napkin and I fold it there. Now remember, there's my 90 degrees. The longest side is always opposite that hypotenuse. Now you have a plus 1, a plus 2. Which means this one is the longest side then there. That one is the longest side. And one of them is then a plus 1 and the other one is a. And again, we can find a by using Pythagorean here. So I can say that a squared plus a plus 1 squared is equal to a plus 2 squared. So this is a squared plus a squared plus 2a plus 1, which is equal to a squared plus 4a plus 4. Again, if I bring them all over, remember if there's nothing, there's a 1. So this is 2a squared minus that 1 is a squared. Then 2a, if I bring this one over, it's minus 2a, so negative 2a. And plus 1 minus 4, if you bring it over, is negative 3 is equal to 0. So now we can factorize this one. So it will be a, 3, and 1. Signs differ. It tells you again signs differ. And the biggest combination is negative. This is the combination like this. So this one is negative and this one is positive. You can always check them back. So now we're going to solve it and say a is negative 1 or a is equal to 3. Which one do we choose? We choose the positive value. We choose the positive value. And then, the question is just find the value of a, so that will be that one's answer. Okay. Right, now we go to try now 6. Try now 6. Copy each of these triangles and label the side as hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. So they just want us to see which one is which one. So there's the first one, 40. So you always start with a marked angle. So that one is opposite the marked angle. The hypotenuse is always opposite the 90 degrees. And this is then the adjacent one. Adjacent means next to. if you can't identify the sides, you're really going to struggle with this trigonometry. So this exercise is very important here. This time, this one is the marked angle. We start, let your eyes go to the angle. So obviously this one is going to be the hypotenuse opposite the 90 degrees. And this one is then opposite from that 35 degrees. That one is adjacent. Number C. Now first try this one on your own before you listen further to my recording. That one is 90 degrees. This one is marked 37. So which one is opposite the marked angle? That angle there. This one is the hypotenuse. This one is adjacent, next to the angle. Next to the angle. And then number D. So we have that little triangle there. That angle is 42. This one is 90 degrees. So this will be the hypotenuse. This one is the opposite one, and that one is adjacent. Identifying them. Now, from that, we have now our 3 trigonometric ratios. So the following is now very important. So we have sine theta, which is opposite over hypotenuse. And you need to learn this. You need to learn this and know this. Cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. There's the second one. And the third one is then tan theta, which is opposite over adjacent. So that is your 3 trigonometric ratios. So they talk about SOHCAHTOA, that's how you can remember it. But if you can't identify the sides, then you can't do the sums. So let's look at the sine one, and there's your marked angle theta. Theta is a Greek letter for any angle then there. It might be A, B, X, Y, Z. But we usually use theta then here. So when will I use the sine theta? I will use it if I have the opposite and the hypotenuse. The opposite and the hypotenuse. So the sides will tell you which function to use. The second one is now this one. There's theta. And this is still the hypotenuse, opposite the 90 degrees. But now this angle is adjacent. Cosine theta. It's the included angle. Cosine theta. And here, another right angle triangle. So if this is theta, that one is opposite, and this one is adjacent. And actually tan is easy to recognize because there's no hypotenuse involved. Then it's tan. Cosine theta, the included angle here, and sine theta where you have opposite over hypotenuse. Now, when we do our questions from here, we're going to ask 2 questions. Which function? Which function? And then the second question that we're going to ask is which method? Which method are we using here? Which method? Which function? Which method? That is the 2 questions that we're going to repeat every time. Okay, so we look now at try now 7 on page 444. Try now 7 on page 444. For each of the following right angle triangles, find sine, cosine, tan, sine, cosine, tan, and we just have x, y, and z. So if we look at the first one, there's the 90 degrees. So this is x, this is y, this is z. Okay, and we are going for A. This is angle A. So what I'm saying is let your eyes go to the angle. So we're going to start with this angle. We don't have degrees now, but we have that angle there at that stage. So from here, sine A, so I look at A, and which 2 will give me sine? It will be Z over X. This one is opposite, Z over x. So then we have to give cosine A. So what is cosine A? The included angle. So that will be y over x. X is your hypotenuse. And the last one is then tan A. And which two sides will that be? No hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is not involved now. So it's only those two sides. And tan theta is opposite over adjacent. So it will be z over y. Z over y. Right? Then the second one, number B. There's a new picture now there. This one is 90 degrees and this is CBA. By the way, it is a rule that you give the small letter for opposite the angle. So there's the angle, this is the small letter A. There's the angle, this is the small letter B. There's the angle, this is the small letter C. So now we again have to find those sides there. This time the marked angle is B, because they want B. So now we have to find sine B. So what will sine B be? Remember, this one is the hypotenuse. This one is opposite the 90 degrees. Sine B will be opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. So it's B over C. B over C. Cosine B. Cosine is the included angle. So it will be this one. A over C. C is your hypotenuse. And then the last one, tan B is equal to, and now we don't have the hypotenuse, it's only the other two sides which are involved. This one is opposite, so it is B over A. It is very important that you must understand this first before you continue now. So go through the lesson again and make sure that you can identify sine, cosine, and tan. So let's just go back to the previous one. The three functions which we are working now with: sine theta, which is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine theta, adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan theta, which is opposite over adjacent. Very important that you will look at that and understand this with the pictures here. Sine theta, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine theta, the included angle. Can you see that? And tan theta, where you only have the opposite and the adjacent. Sokatua. Okay. Right, so the next one now is try now 8. Page 445. Try now 8. So for each of the following right angles, but this time, so we're going to do the same thing, but this time we have values there. So there's the first right angle triangle, 5, 3, 4. And they want A. So this is A, so we're working from there. Let your eyes go to the angle. We start with that angle. You need to do that. Which means that this one is opposite. This one is adjacent, and this one is the hypotenuse there. Right, so now we're going to give that functions again. Sine A, which is what now? 4 over 5, if we substitute the value in there. The next one, cosine A. So cosine is the included one, so this is going to be 3 over 5. And then tan A, let your eyes go to A, opposite over adjacent. So it will be 4 over 3. So there is the first one there. Number B, another right angle triangle, 13, 12, and 5. We get these values with Pythagoras. This time the marked angle is B. So we're working here from B. Let your eyes go to the angle, which means this one is opposite, this one is the hypotenuse, and this one is adjacent. So we're going to do the same thing now there. Sine B is equal to 12 over 13. That's the ratio that you're going to use. Cosine B, what is cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So it will be 5 over 13. And then the last one, tan B, is equal to tan. So it's the other two sides now, opposite over adjacent. So it will be 12 over 5. 12 over 5. Make sure that you understand this before you continue now with the next lesson. Okay. The next one is now try now 9. This is on page 446. Okay, and now we're going to start with our calculator. So we're going to use our calculators now to do it. So you will see on your calculator you have now those buttons sine, cosine, and tan. Can you see them? Sine, cosine, and tan. So now we're just going to press the calculator and get the values. And they say there to 4 significant figures. So the first one is sine 24 is equal to, and I got the value of 4067. Just press your calculator. This is easy. The next one, number B, cosine 57 is equal to, I got 0.5446. Number C, tan 78 is equal to 4.705. I round off there to 4 significant figures. Number D, cosine 72.15 is equal to 0.3065. Number E, sine 32.8 is equal to 0.5417. Number F, tan 20.9 is equal to 0.3819. Number G, just pressing your calculators. Now, this time there's a 3 in front, so we're going to say 3 times cosine 48 is equal to 2.007. Number H, 12 times sine 62 is equal to 10.60, rounding off again there. Number I, 5 times tan 51 is equal to 6.174. J, now you'll see, now we're dividing. So it is 4 divided by cosine 18 is equal to, you just press your calculator, 4.206. I round off again there. K, 5 times tan 61 is equal to, or you'll have to use brackets now, divide by brackets 2 times cosine 10 close is equal to, and I got 4.580, rounding again. The last one, number L, 3 times sine 22 is equal to, divide by tan 60 is equal to, and I got 0.6488. So that's now just doing it on the calculator. We need calculators to do this, and we're going to round off to 3 significant figures and angles to 1 decimal place. That is the general rule here. So now we come to try now 10. Try now 10. Find the value of the unknown in each of the following. Now we're going to ask ourselves the 2 questions. Which function, which method? Which function and which method? I'm going to show you the methods now to do this. But we need to choose the correct function. So what do I mean by that? Sine, cosine, or tan. How are you going to know? Look at the sides. The sides will tell you. If you don't understand, go back to the previous lessons. Right, so the first one there is now, it looks like this, 27, 10a. So which function are we going to use here? Can you see that it is cosine? This is the included angle, cosine. So in the first place, I'm going to write cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. That's your first step. Now you substitute. So now I'm going to say that cosine 27 degrees is then equal to the adjacent over 10. I substitute my values in here. And now we have to look at the method. And the method is top times. So when you want that top one, you always multiply. I can reason it out that I'm going to multiply with the LCM here. So times 10, cancel, times 10. But we can just remember the shortcut, top times. So now you take your calculator and you multiply 10 times cosine 27 is equal to, and I got 8.91. So this one is 8.91. 8.91. Right, the second one, number B, looks like this. 41B9. Right, which function? Which function will we use now? How will I know? Let your eyes go to the angle and then determine this is the opposite and this one is the hypotenuse. Can you see? So which function? Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Write it down. Now you're going to substitute. So sine 41 is equal to b over 9. Which method? Top times. So it will be 9 times sine 41 is equal to b. And we do that on our calculators. So 9 times sine 41 is equal to, and I got 5.90. 5.90. So B is equal to 5.90. Number C. Triangle looks like this. 172 there, and this is C. So the first question is, which function? Which function? So let your eyes go to the angle, and now we must determine which side is that one. And this is then your opposite one. This is the opposite one. This one is the hypotenuse, opposite the 90 degrees, and this one will then be adjacent. Which function? I only have those two, no hypotenuse involved, so I'm going to choose tan. Tan theta is opposite over adjacent. Tan theta is opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to say that tan 72 is equal to, this one is the opposite now, C. This one is the adjacent over 100. Which method? Top times. So it is 100 times tan 72 is equal to C. Using your calculator now, so it's 100 times tan 72 is equal to, and I got 307, it will round off to 308. 308 is equal to C. Number D. Now the picture looks like this. There's my 90 degrees. This is D 3791.1. Right, which function? Which function will we use here? So this is the hypotenuse. This one is opposite. This one is adjacent. So which function? Cosine. It's the included angle, cosine. So I'm going to start off then with cosine theta, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. Substitute. So cosine 37 is equal to D over 91.1. Which method? Top times. So it's 91.1 times cosine 37 is equal to D. Okay? So that is then 91.1 times cosine 37 is equal to 72.8. Rounding, look at the rounding, 72.8. That's your D. Number E. Okay, it looks like this. There's your right angle triangle, 30 degrees, 8E. Let your eyes go to the angle. So what is this? My opposite. What is this? My hypotenuse. There's the 90 degrees. So which function will I do now? Sine. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Substitute. Sine 30 degrees is equal to E over 8. Which method? Top times. So 8 times sine 30 is equal to E. Use your calculator to press that one. 8 times sine 30 is equal to 4. So E is equal to 4. And the last one, number F. So this time we have a right angle triangle, 20F9. Which function? So this one is then opposite and adjacent. Opposite and adjacent, so I'm going to choose tan theta, which is opposite over adjacent. Substitute, so tan 20 is equal to F over 9. Which method? Top times. 9 times tan 20. Use your calculator to get that. 9 times tan 20 is equal to 3.28. 3.28.
With us on #LearnOn1. Tell us what you're learning and where you're learning it from. Send us your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
Namibia is known for its beautiful wide open landscapes. However, these deserted spaces also pose numerous educational challenges in our country's rural areas. Because of this, many learners are denied access to proper teaching and learning. At Eduvision, we believe that education is the starting point to a journey of endless possibilities. It It's Eduvision's goal to prepare and guide learners in order to make the modern world they are living in accessible to all. Namibia is known for its beautiful wide open landscapes. However, these deserted spaces also pose numerous educational challenges in our country's rural areas. Because of this, many learners are denied access to proper teaching and learning. At Eduvision, we believe that education is the starting point to a journey of endless possibilities.
Very soon, we are going to see e-learning. Soon and very soon, we are going.
The plan for Eduvision was to identify areas in Namibia that do not have the proper learning resources, a working school or an education center.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, we are going to see e-learning. No more.
My name is Philip Smith. I'm the principal of Educate Academy in Otjiwarongo. The project Eduvision, the e-learning program, started in 2017. With a project like this, obviously telecommunication, internet connection is a major thing that needs to be sorted out, a logistical challenge. And the fact that we chose Chunkwe Secondary School as the first school didn't make it easier for ourselves. It's very far from Otjiwarongo, it's far from Buntuk. So the internet connection was a big challenge first of all. So with the help of the telecommunications expert Paratus, they made this dream come true with internet connections via Buntuk, Otjiwarongo to Chunkwe and then back, the whole process. Like I said, it's interactive whiteboard, so the internet speed, capacity of the connectivity and so forth plays a major role. And so Paratus made this dream come true, and they were on board from the first moment. So we're grateful for Paratus.
The project offers teaching assistance of a high standard in science to rural secondary schools within the learner's own community by means of e-learning. This entails the following: live transmissions of lessons from an equipped teacher in a different location to the students in rural areas, students using their own cell phone, tablet or computer to recall each lesson, and interactive lessons, as well as the use of a smartboard as a teaching aid.
So if you look ahead at the next 3 years, we get information from the Ministry of Education. The future is very bright. So I think there's a lot of schools who can benefit from this program. Like I mentioned before, finances obviously plays a major role in a project like this. So we're very thankful for all the sponsors that are on board and still on board after almost 3 years of the project. So as long as people from the private sector can get involved, I think we can reach many schools in Namibia, because this project made a good start now. We're already seeing some positive results, and we can just call on all the private sector corporate sponsors to come on board and join in this very, very positive project.
It is Eduvision's goal to prepare and guide learners in order to make the modern world they are living in accessible to all.
My name is Magdalena Neoma. I'm 18 years old and I'm doing my first year at UNAM Command campus, and I completed my grade 12 at Sine Senior Secondary School. I'm doing education, so I'm gonna teach at Sine Secondary School because there I really need to go there and motivate the learners. Eduvision helped me a lot. It assisted us in teaching for mathematics, physical science, and biology. And it also, we get to exchange learning from other schools like Educate, whereby they teach us, and that's the most thing that we benefited from. Studying without Eduvision was so challenging. And when Eduvision was introduced at our school, things become more easier. The time where Eduvision was not introduced, we were so slow in learning. And when Eduvision introduced at our school, my learning speed increases. Things were kind of boring. And when Eduvision came, my mind changed the way I think. I'm really grateful for what Eduvision gave us. Our class of 2019 was the first group to make it, to perform very well at Sine Senior Secondary School. So it should keep up the spirit. We need that. It should continue to support us.
Eduvision aspires to ensure that equal opportunity is offered to every learner in rural areas to tap into his or her own potential while working in an environment which views disadvantages not as obstacles but as unique attributes that can be regarded as powerful assets when given the proper opportunity. At Eduvision, we believe that dreams are the foundation of knowledge and hope always triumphs over experience.
No more problems. Everything is proper. Eduvision, baby.
We always love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081-200-6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
Yeah. You need to get up, right? Let God renovate your heart. Look, got me feeling hyped, like I ate your sugar. My future's bright, like it passed the school test. I hate the dark, that path is ruthless, but I'm feeling light, like I lost some kilos. Before you know it's on, cause I finna do this, about that moving on. My past is absent, how's that moving going? Gotta say I love it, I embraced it, face it, so I held it and I hugged it. You ain't know what I've been through, dude, don't get it twisted like screw. You see me standing right here, you, all the days of my pain. Ouch, God been fixing my veins, hearts refining fire in fire, hearts burning up like petrol. I'ma stand firm like scarecrow, yeah.